Hey everyone, it's Megan Elizabeth from AboveRubyStudio.com, and I'm really happy you're joining me for this video. I wanted to combine a couple things together from the man kit and also a project that I made a little while back for my friend Carrie for her birthday. And I found this thing and I thought it was just too perfect to not use and create my own little Gypsy subway art kind of scrapbook layout that I then framed in a 12 by 12 frame, and I wanted to show you how I did it. Now this is all wrinkled up, but I used the Cutmates die cuttable premium cardstock. This is what Paper Layers is printed on, and it also comes in 2 different assortment packs that are available at AboveRubyStudio.com in 26 sheet count. There's a dark set and there's a light set, and you're probably going to want both. And I just wanted to show you, sorry that this is all wrinkled, but I'm going to be using the black, I think it's called licorice something, in this kit, and it's an awesome black because there's a little bit of a texture green on the one side and the other side is completely smooth, again just like Paper Layers is. And I'm going to be using just my Cricut cutting mat. I'm going to use my Cricut Expression 2 because I have everything all set up on my Gypsy. And I'm going to try to make this Gypsy file available. You're going to have all the cartridges that I used, and I think I used 3 or 4. And I'll make sure I list it on AboveRubyStudio.com in the post of this video what I exactly used, and you can download the Gypsy file if you have a Gypsy to cut with. I'm not sure, I haven't used the Gypsy files in the craft room, and I don't think you can do that yet, but I'm not 100% sure. I have not tried it, so I don't want to be telling you something that's not true. I'm just letting you know. I don't know if you can use it with Cricut Craft Room, but you can use it with your Gypsy. And I'm going to try to make it available, but if I can't, nobody hurt me, please. It's called Friends and Family, and it says, when nights turns into days and friends turn into family. And I'm just going to click OK. I already have it lined up where I kind of want it to cut, and I grouped everything together that it's just one grouped image. I'm going to try to focus in there. And I'm going to leave it, I'm going to move it over just a little bit, but I left it pretty open on this side and around because I put flowers all the way up and around this side and a few over here, and then I put a picture in the middle. So that's totally up to you. You can make it like the full size, the full page. And actually I'll go ahead and I'll move it right now just a little bit. And I'll make it just a little bit bigger. Oops. Can I undo that, please? Uh-oh. Of course not. Okay, there we go. Let's move. Oh no, come on now. Why is it being silly? Okay, let's group everything back together and move it all as one unit. And I'm just going to move it ever so slightly. And I'm going to make it just a little bigger. So I'm just using the directional arrows here to move it around just a little bit and make it just a little bit bigger, all grouped together, so everything stays proportionate to the size that I made it, because it took me a lot of time to line everything up that it would fit inside one square like all together, and to find the right fonts and yada yada. So I'm just going to set this up a little bigger and give it a little more space. And we're going to cut this out. So I'm going to hit the cut icon right there, and we're just going to use all the controls on the Gypsy for this. So we're going to load in our mat, use the control on here to hit load mat. Everything's all connected and everything should be really good to go. And we just want to make sure our blade depth, speed, and pressure are correct. And everything looks good, so we can just hit cut. Blade depth is good, and we're good to go. Now while that's cutting out, I'm going to be using a sheet of paper from the man kit. I'm calling it the man kit. The My Mind's Eye, Miss Caroline. This is called Fiddlesticks Love, and it's the wood grain pattern. And I think it's so neat, and I love the stripes on here. And I'm just going to cut off the product tagging along the bottom while my Cricut is doing the other work. And actually, I can cut a little bit more than just the product tagging. I'm going to do that much. So just enough. And then what I'm doing here is I'm going to, along the bottom, there's still this whole strip of paper that I feel like I can use, and I don't like to waste even my labels. So I'm going to cut that out. So we can use this actually on a layout or something that we're working with. We might not on this one, but you can still use it. Okay, so it's all finished, so you just want to unload your mat. And then what we're going to be doing is using just the negative portion. We're not going to place down each one of these letters all by itself. So you want to be really, really careful, and you can just see this is how awesome Cutmates is. It just pops everything out so easy without ripping and tearing. You just have to, you know, go a little slow. There's a lot on here, especially for the smaller letters. You just want to make sure you don't rip your cuts as you're pulling your negative away by just going too fast. I guarantee you the Cricut cut them perfectly. The only thing that's left hanging, and it's because it's a smaller letter. Let's see here, let's slow down. So the T is just kind of in there still, but I guarantee it's not going to rip. It's just there. Let's just get that out. And pull out the N, which is cut all the way through. So now you can definitely use the letters and like place each one down individually. But what I'm going to do, see how easy this is? What I'm going to do is grab an empty box, an empty cardboard box, and I'm going to flip it that it's upside down in the box, and I'm going to grab my Crafter's Companion Stick and Spray. Now this is repositionable adhesive, but I'm going to use another adhesive that's permanent. This is just to get down all those tiny little extra pieces, and I'm just going to go back and forth really, really, really fast. And this is just my fastest way to get adhesive down without taking a lot of time. So then what I do, once that's on there, grab some Zig Squeeze and Roll, and then just go in there around the outline and make sure that we have a more permanent hold right along the outline, but it's not really going to need much more than that to get all those little tiny pieces to stay down and in place. You can use any kind of permanent adhesive you want, but I'm just going to use that, and then I'm going to place down, oops, make sure that we're lined up from the top here. Place down my Mind's Eye background paper. And I'm using the stripes. And you can see it just like that. And we can trim up the edges, anything that's kind of a little bit messy. We'll clean that up before we're all said and done. And you're going to want to pull off now, where's my mat? You're going to want to pull off your interior pieces. So the and has little interior pieces, the O's, the D, the R. There's just a couple letters that you need to worry about. And I want to apply these down before I do my Glimmer Mist. Now I have found, I always think, oh, Glimmer Mist is messy. I don't want to take the time to use it and pull it out. It really isn't that big of a deal, and it really does change your project. I'm always amazed. I don't know what it is. I, you know, kind of talk myself out of it a lot thinking it doesn't make a difference, and then I put it on there and it suddenly looks like a totally different thing. And I really am happy with how it turns out when I do it. So that's my challenge, is if you don't have Glimmer Mist, give it a shot. Give it a try. You might be very happy that you did. And I'm just going to apply these down using my Zig Squeeze and Roll. I like my Squeeze and Roll the best because I feel like I get the most control. But everybody has a different opinion on which Zig or wet adhesive they like. But I've always had really good luck with my Zig Squeeze and Roll. I've used it probably from the very beginning, day one, with my Cricut, off of the recommendation of my friend Becca. So just slowly go through, apply down each letter. Now what this, the glimmer mist that I'm going to be using, it's the Chalkboard glimmer mist, and it's the white, so it's actually like white chalkboard, and on the black it gives the coolest look ever. It's going to actually look like it's a chalkboard. So I use this glimmer mist collection. It's called the Paint System, and it has a whole bunch of different things in here. It is available at Crafty Corner, and you just kind of want to shake it up. I'm going to grab my box again. So you can use your box or use really anything. Go outside, just kind of tap it, swish it around, and then you're going to want to move in motion as you spray. So just spurts it across. I'm letting it kind of make, I'm holding it close enough that it's going to like make a couple puddles, and I'm okay with that. If you don't want it to do puddles, then hold it a little bit further away and make sure you really keep that motion going. But I feel like it looks more chalkboardy when you do that little bit of, I don't know, the puddled look. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, and just kind of let that dry a little bit. And I don't know, to me you can just really see the difference in how chalkboardy and fun that looks. So just set the box aside. And you're going to want to let that dry, but when there's 2 layers of paper, it doesn't warp quite as much. It can warp a little bit, so you want to be careful. And I didn't line this up exact, so I'm going to need to just trim this a little tiny bit, which I'm okay with. If you're really particular about it being an exact 12 by 12, you can take your time just a little bit more, where I slightly messed up. Now for my friend, when I did this one for Carrie, I was a lot more meticulous about what I lined up. And I actually used paper from, what kit was that? I used it from another kit. It had some flourishes on it. It was My Mind's Eye paper, once again, I'm pretty sure. Nope, that's not exactly straight. Let's get this straight. Okay, now what you can do for this, what I did for Carrie is I used my Color Me Crazy. These are from Prima. They're Color Me Crazy flowers that are layerable, and I inked some of them with my Megan Elizabeth ink edgers and just lined them all the way up and did whatever. For this one, I'm going to use the milepost shapes from Close to My Heart. And I'm just going to use some Zig Squeeze and Roll. And I'm going to put shapes down on here in just a random kind of pattern. And I can place a photo down here still. I don't know that I'm going to do a photo on this particular one. I think I'm going to just use it as, I'm just going to use it as art, like just wall art, subway art. Don't be afraid to let your shapes go off the edge. It gives it some dimension. It can be really fun to do. You can always cut them down, cut them back a little bit. Just put a little picture in there. Here, let's see. So that's pretty basic, and then that can go inside of a frame and be really, really, really cute. So I hope that you enjoyed just this basic little video on how I did this and just used the negative for this to make the subway art and then just kind of decorated around it. And I love how the black really turned into that really chalkboardy look and feel using the chalkboard glimmer mist. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon at AboveRubyStudio.com. Bye-bye.